Good afternoon, children. Welcome to Sri Vidya Mandir Higher Secondary School. Presented by T. Sivagangan. And due to curfew, our managements are started online classes. Is going on for 10th students. And to watch my videos continuously. And previous classes we started plant hormones. Then what is called hormones, where they are synthesized in plants, what is the physiological role, what is the morphological effect of these plants hormones, already we discussed it. Then today we are going to discuss the continuation of plant hormone such as cytokinin, ethylene, ABA abscisic acids and gibberellic acids, and you watch my videos. Today the continuation of the plant hormone, it's called another one, plant growth promoter such as cytokinin. The plant hormones are broadly classified into two types. One is a plant growth promoters, another one is a plant growth inhibitors. The plant growth promoters such as auxin, cytokinin, gibberellins, these three are called plant growth promoters. It is always promote the growth of the plant. But whereas ABA abscisic acid and ethylene, it is a growth inhibitors, plant growth inhibitors. I will discuss one by one. Then second one is, in previous class already we discussed that auxins. Where is synthesis of auxin? Auxins are synthesized in the tip of the root and shoot leaf, and from there migrated downwards to the zone of elongations. How to prove where the auxins are synthesized? It was demonstrated by Bent by conducting experiment using an Avena coleoptile test, that is called Bent experiment test, by using tip of the coleoptiles, and he proved that auxins are synthesized in the tip of the root, shoot and leaf. That already we discussed what is the physiological effect of auxins. Now cytokinins, it is the second plant growth promoters. The word cyto means cell. Then kinin means divisions. I mean, one of the foremost important effect of cytokinin is induced cell divisions. Induced cell divisions. Cyto means cell and kinin means division, induced cell division. Usually a cell is divided into two halves by the two processes. One is a karyokinesis, another one is a cytokinesis. Karyokinesis in the sense division of nucleus, then followed by cytokinesis in the sense division of cytoplasm as a cell to form two cells. So it is the aim of one of the foremost effect of cytokinin in induced cell division. So it is first isolated by cytokinin, first isolated from herring fish sperm. Herring fish actually it is found in the Atlantic oceans. It is one of the fish found in Atlantic Ocean. The sperm contains DNA, which is responsible for synthesis of these hormones. These hormones have the similar physiological effect of cytokinins. So the first isolated from the herring fish sperm DNA by Miller and Schooch in the year 1954. Miller and Schooch isolated the cytokinin from herring fish in the year 1954. Followed by several substances have been identified have the similar physiological effect of cytokinin. For example, kinetin, zeatin. These are the substances have the similar physiological effect of cytokinin. See the zeatin, it is isolated from the zeamase. So the cytokinin isolated from the zeamase, these are called zeatin. These are have the similar physiological effect of cytokinins. The next, what are the effect? It is also abundantly found in the endosperm, liquid endosperms of coconut. Liquid endosperms of coconut. In coconut, actually, there are two types of endosperms are present in the coconut. One is a cellular endosperm, another one is a liquid endosperm. And what is called endosperm? It is a nutritive tissue present in the seed. The nutritive tissue, endosperm, it supplies the nutrients to the growing embryo. But here in coconut, actually, a tender coconut that contain water, tender coconut water, that is a rich sources of cytokinin. So cytokinin most abundantly found in the liquid endosperms of coconut. These are the introductions. And it is induced cell divisions. Cyto means cell, kinin means divisions. It is first isolated by Miller and Scooch in the 1954 from the erring fish sperms of DNA, and followed by several substances also identified, kinetin and zeatin, and it is abundantly found in the endosperms of coconut. Now, what is the physiological effect of the cytokinins? It is also to bring about several physiological effect. The first physiological effect, one of the most foremost physiological effect of cytokinin, induced cell divisions. Induced cell divisions. So because of this property, induced cell division, it is extensively used in the plant tissue culture. I will explain later how they are used in the plant tissue culture. So first foremost physiological effect, induced cell divisions, and also it cause cell elongations. Cell elongation. Usually cell elongation, it is a property of auxin. Auxin is the first plant hormone to be discovered. What are the main physiological effect of auxin? Induced cell elongation. But cytokinin induces cell divisions. But by the combination of both the auxin and cytokinin also induced cell elongation. As a result of cell division, cell elongation, growth takes place. See, it is another effect. It also causes cell elongation. The third one is by the combination of both the auxin and cytokinin. Both auxin and cytokinin, it is essential for the formation of new organ from callus in plant tissue culture. Plant tissue culture by the process called morphogenesis. See, both auxin and cytokinin, they have the different role. Auxin induces cell elongations, cytokinin induces cell division. By the combination of both auxin and cytokinin, it is essential for the formation of new organ from the callus in the plant tissue culture. I will explain what is called callus, how they are induced in new plantlets. See, plant tissue culture, it is one of the branches of biotechnology. Growing of any living cells, tissues or organ under artificial synthetic medium in a controlled condition, these are called plant tissue culture. If any living plant cells have the capacity to develop into entire organism, these are called totipotent. Totipotent. This totipotent, it is unique only in plant cells, not for in animal cells. Any living plant cells have the capable or capacity develop into entire organism, that's called totipotency. If take, for example, the leaf obtained from the one plant. Leaf, it is an organ that contain living tissue. The leaves are introduced into the plant tissue culture that contain petri dish, it contain medium. that is called culture medium. The culture medium contains nutritive tissues. So the process of introduction of leaf onto the culture medium by the process called inoculations. So after the inoculations, under the influence of auxin and cytokinin in the plant tissue culture, auxin and cytokinin. What is the effect of auxin? We know that auxin induced cell elongations. Cytokinin induced cell division. See, as a result, this organ, leaf, it is an organ that become differentiated to form a mass of tissue is called callus. See, it is a petriplate that contain medium. Under the influence of auxin cytokinin in the medium, it is induced the cell organ that become differentiated to form a mass of tissue is called callus. So how callus is formed? Under the influence of auxin and cytokinin. Callus is nothing but unorganized mass of undifferentiated tissue. There is no any organ formation, there is no any roots leaf formation, unorganized. A mass of tissue is called callus. From the callus become differentiated to form plantlets. It's a culture tube that contain medium. So the callus, it is introduced into the culture medium. So it become differentiated to appear a morphological structure by the process called morphogenesis. Then what is called morphogenesis? The process of formation of new organ. What is the organ? It is a root, it is a shoot. So the development of root from the callus is called rhizogenesis. Development of shoot from the callus is called callogenesis. As a result, a plantlets are appears. New roots are appears by the process called morphogenesis, and finally they become developed into entire organism. So the entire organism is developed from a single organ or living tissue. That is a totipotency concept. So how these auxin and cytokinins are used in the plant tissue culture for the formation of callus. Callus is a mass of unorganized, undifferentiated tissues by cell division and cell elongation. So you are detailedly going to study in the higher classes, but it is a simple concept, plant tissue cultures. Then another physical effect of cytokinin. Cytokinin promote the lateral bud growth. Even in the apical bud is present. Apical bud is present. I mean, it is a apical bud, it is a lateral bud. Already we know that what is the physiological effect of auxin. Auxin produced at the apical bud, it causes apical dominance. I mean, auxin to suppress the growth of lateral bud. It is a lateral bud, it is a apical bud. Auxin suppress the growth of lateral bud, promote apical bud. But cytokinin, it is a contrast to the auxins. I mean, cytokinin promote the growth of lateral bud even in the presence of apical bud. I mean, it suppress the growth of apical bud. Don't get confused. Auxin promote apical bud, suppress the growth of lateral bud, but whereas in cytokinin promote the growth of lateral bud even of the apical bud of tall plants remains intact, I mean in present. The next, another effect of cytokinin, external application of cytokinin to delay the process of aging. Delay the process of aging in the plant is called Rekman-Lang effect. Rekman-Lang effect. See, what is called Rekman-Lang effect? Rekman-Lang effect, I mean external application of cytokinin on the plant to delay the process of aging in the sense maturations. If they are applying the certain chemical substance cytokinins on the plants to reduce the aging of the plant by the process called Rekman-Lang effect. So, physiological effect of cytokinin over. And next, shall I move to the another physiological effect that is called gibberellins. The third plant growth regulators. Gibberellin, it is also called plant growth promoters. It was first discovered by Kurosawa in the year 1926. A Japan scientist, Kurosawa, in 1926 is the first person from a Japan scientist to identify these gibberellic acids. How he identified these gibberellic acids? He observed the rice plant. Some of the rice seedlings, it shows much taller than that of the other seedlings. This cause extraordinary elongation of internodes. Extraordinary elongation of internodes. He observed some of the rice plants from the field, it shows much taller than that of the other plants. So, I mean this rice seedlings is called shows extraordinary elongation. I mean ordinary, extraordinary, usual, unusual, normal, abnormal, usual, unusual, ordinary, extraordinary. Normal, abnormal. So, these unusual, extraordinary, abnormal, these are caused by gibberellic acids. This unusual or extraordinary elongation of internode, Kurosawa, this disease is called as a Beckane disease or also called a foolish seedling disease. Beckane disease or foolish seedling disease. Seedling disease in rice plant. See, there may be a question. What is called Beckane disease or also called foolish seedling disease? Extraordinary elongations of internode of rice seedlings is called as a Beckane disease or also called foolish seedling disease. I mean internodal elongation. Then what is called node or internode? See, let us example. It's a stem that is called node, N-O-D-E, node. Then what is called node? The point of the stem from which where the leaves is arises. Where the leaves is arises. These are called nodal regions. It is also node, another node, another node. So between the two nodes, these are called internode. Internode. These gibberellic acids actually, they cause internodal elongation. So this is the length of the internode. Due to this gibberellic acid, yes, the length maybe gets increased. As a result, it shows much taller than that of other plants. So this unusual or abnormal or extraordinary elongation of this internode of rice plant is called as Beckani disease or fully sealing disease by Kurosawa. And finally, he observed that what are the causes of this extraordinary elongation? Yes, this extraordinary elongation of internode is caused by the fungus. He identified some fungus which caused this internodal elongation. This fungus is called Gibberella fugicori. Gibberella fugicori. So some fungi, it is a achlorophyllous plant. They are responsible for to cause this unusual internodal elongation, and this fungus is called Gibberella fugicori. And finally, the substance were extracted from this fungus and gets purified and dehydrated, and he is called as Kurosawa called this substance as called as a gibberellic acids in the year 1926. These are the introductions of gibberellins. Gibberellin was first identified by Kurosawa, a Japan scientist, in the year 1926, and he observed the rice field, some of the rice field that shows much taller than that of the other rice seedlings. These, because of this extraordinary or unusual internodal elongation, is called as a Beckani disease. The next, going to discuss what are the physiological effect of these gibberellins. Physiological effect of gibberellins. It induces gibberellins, actually the external application of gibberellins on the plant, it promotes extraordinary elongation of stem. How to cause extraordinary elongation of stem? By cell division, then cell elongations caused by gibberellic acids produced by the fungus is called Gibberella fugicori. It causes extraordinary elongations, I mean much taller than that others. Then another one is, one of the foremost striking effect of gibberellic acid, reversal of dwarfism. Reversal of dwarfism in many genetically dwarf plant. Reversal of dwarfism, many genetically dwarf plant. Then what do you mean by dwarfism? It shows stunted growth. The nodes and internodes are gets very much reduced. It does not show elongations. And what is the effect of this gibberellic acid? That reversal of dwarfism in many genetically dwarf plant. Let us understand, for example, rosette plants of sugar beet. Rosette plants of sugar beet. Common name sugar beet. What is the binomial name? Ipomea batata. We call vernacular, we call it is a Chakkaravalli kilangu, sugar beet. In sugar beet, the leaves are shows very much reduced leaves. See, it is a leaves. The leaves are shows very much reduced. These are called, this appears like a rosette like appearance. These are called rosette leaves. Rosette leaves. But these very much reduced leaves, they exhibit excessive internodal elongation when they are treated with the gibberellic acids. So this sudden elongation of stem followed by flowering is called bolting. After the treatment of these gibberellic acids, the leaves are actually, it shows internodal elongations. It produces internodal elongations. The tip may be produced inflorescence. It is a leaf. So these are called bolting leaf. Bolting leaf. Then what is called bolting? Important questions. Sudden shoot elongation followed by flowering by the external applications of gibberellic acids. If the rosette plants are treated with the gibberellic acid, it suddenly gets elongated. These are called elongated shoot and followed by flower formation by the process called bolting. Bolting. See, the gibberellic acids actually it is only phytohormones are abundantly found in all group of the plants. Gibberellic acids, all group of the plant. So far, 90 different types of gibberellic acids are identified. For example, GA1, GA2, likewise GA90. There are 90 different types of gibberellic acids are identified. Among these, the GA3, gibberellic acid 3, it is induced bolting in cabbage. It is a neat question actually. The GA3 that induced bolting, I mean sudden shoot elongations, especially in the cabbage plants. Next, another physiologic effect. It promotes the production of male flower. Promote the production of male flower in monoecious plant. Monoecious plant. I mean it induced maleness. For example, cucurbita. Cucurbita. See, what is called monoecious plant? Both male and female flowers are present on the same plant is called monoecious plant. It is a plant. It is a flower. The lower actually it is a female flower. Upper branch it is a male flowers. Both male and female flowers are get separated but present on the same plant. These are called monoecious plant. But due to the presence of this gibberellic on external application of gibberellic acids on the plant, it is induced the male flowers, especially male flowers. What is the effect? What is the result of this male flower? As a result, we get a number of male pollen grains, male gametes are result that is used for cross pollination as a result to development of more food crops. So it is economically useful or economic point of view. Gibberellic acid induced male flower in monoecious plant, especially Cucurbita pepo or Cucurbidaceae family. The next, it breaks the dormancy of potato tubers. Break the dormancy of potato tuber. It induced germination. Then what is called dormancy? It is nothing but resting period. Resting period or resting hour. See, in certain seeds, certain plants actually the seeds when they are placed on the soil, it imbibe large amount of water, and when all the conditions are favorable condition, they could not get germinated. Available of water also, food available, all the nutrients also available, they could not get germination. These are called dormancy. In bud, some flowers, the bud, the remains are in the bud condition, it does not open into flower. These are called bud dormancy, seed dormancy. But in potato tuber, how can be cultivated the potato? Potato actually, it's contain eye spot. It is eye spot. The eye spots are covered with the scaly leaves that contain vegetative bud. Vegetative bud, a bud-like outer growth that present in the eye spot. That becomes sprout out, develop into shoot system. But these eye spots are, it's a vegetative part that become developed into shoot system. And if the plant there may be germinated, due to the several factors, as a result they could not get germinated. Before plantation, the plant should be treated with the gibberellic acid. It breaks the dormancy that induced to germination. I mean gibberellic acid to break the dormancy of especially potato tuber. The next, gibberellic acid is more efficient than that of the auxins for the production of seedless fruits called parthenocarpic fruits. It is more efficient than auxin for the production of seedless fruits. It is nothing but parthenocarpic fruit. Parthenocarpic fruit. For example, tomato. See, both the auxin and gibberellins that induced parthenocarpic fruit. What is called parthenocarpic fruit? Without acting as a fertilization, it is nothing but seedless fruits. On external applications of this gibberellin and as well as auxin, they induced seedless fruits, parthenocarpic fruit. But when compared to auxin, gibberellic acid is more efficient to induce parthenocarpic fruit, especially for example tomato. So these are the various physiological effects of gibberellic acid. The first one is it causes extraordinary elongations of stem and by cell division, cell elongation. And next it is induced bolting. Bolting is nothing but sudden shoot elongation followed by flowering. For example, cabbage. And next third one is it induces or promote the formations of or productions of male flower in monoecious plant. For example, cucurbita. Next, it break the dormants of potato tuber. The last one is it is a more efficient. Gibberellic acid is more efficient than that of the auxins for the productions of parthenocarpic fruit. Abscisic acid, it is commonly called as ABA. ABA, it is also called abscisic acid. Generally, it is a powerful growth inhibitors. Growth inhibitors. But whereas in auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, these are the growth promoters. It promote the growth of the plant in various way, different parts of the organ. But the abscisic acid, it indirectly affect the growth of the plant. So they are called growth inhibitors. How they inhibit the growth? I mean, it regulate abscission and dormancy. Due to this two process, actually it inhibit the growth of the plants. What is called abscission? Abscission in the sense falling of leaf, flowers, fruits. The process of separation of leaf, flower, fruit from the plant. These are called abscissions. So if the leaves are falling, what is the result? Photosynthesis are affected and leads to death of the plant body. So it affects the growth of the plant. Dormancy in the sense resting period or resting hour, induced dormancy. Already we know the dormancy, even on the favorable conditions are there, they could not get germination. These are called dormancy. So it induced abscission and dormancy. In addition to this, it also increased the plant to tolerate a various stress. So they are called stress hormones. It increases the tolerance of plant in various stress, climatic stress, to tolerate the stress conditions. What are the stress? For example, environmental stress, water stress, or maybe drought condition. The plants will get stress. So what are the functions of this abscisic acid? To protect the plant from this environmental stress. Hence it is also called a stress hormone. It is a stress hormone. Then why do we call it as a stress hormones? Because it protects the plant from various stress conditions. I mean, it increases the tolerance of the plants from various stress conditions. So they are called stress hormones. And especially these stress hormones are found in the chloroplast. It is found in chloroplast. You know what's called chloroplast? Chloroplast, it is one of the cell organelles present in the plant cells only. Generally, plastids, it is one of the cell organelle present in the cytoplasm of the plant cell. Plastids, like mitochondria, nucleus, Golgi body. Likewise, plastids, one of the cell organelle present in the cytoplasm. There are three different plastids: chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. Chloro, green coloring pigment present in the plastids. These are called chloroplasts. Due to the presence of chloroplasts, they perform photosynthesis. But these stress hormones are found in the chloroplast of the plants. See, these are the general introduction. Now, what are the physiological effect? Effect of ABA. Like oxygen, cytokinin, gibberellin, it is also caused to bring out various physiological effect. Then first physiological effect of ABA, it promote the process of abscissions. Promote the process of abscissions. I mean the process of separation of leaf, flower, fruits from the stem or from the branches by this process called abscission, but it induce abscission, it triggering abscission, it promote abscission. See, it is one of the growth inhibitors. It promote abscissions. The next, during water stress. Water stress, I mean water scarcity, lack of water, sufficient water, or drought condition, I mean dry condition, the ABA to cause closure of stomata. Closure of stomata. See, what is called stomata? It is a minute opening present on the leaf. The stomata open during daytime. If the stomata are open, it enhancing transpiration. Then what do you mean by transpiration? Transpiration is a loss of water in the form of water vapor takes place through stomata. See, all the absorbed water, where is the source of water? Soil is the source of water. The soil water is absorbed by the root system. Among the absorbed water, only 1% of water is utilized for various metabolic activities in the plant. Remaining 99% of water is lost in the form of water vapor through stomata, through cuticle, through lenticels. These are called transpiration. If the stomata are open in the daytime, all the absorbed water gets enhancing for transpiration loss, as a result leads to death. So, under this situation, during water stress, water scarcity or dry condition, this abscisic acid, it is induced closed off stomata. If the stomata kept closed conditions, transpiration will not take place. I mean, it protects the plant from water stress. So, they are called stress hormones. The next, it promotes senescence of leaf. It induces senescence of leaf by causing loss of chlorophyll, by the process called chlorosis. See, it induces loss of chlorophyll. What do you mean by senescence? Let us example. It is a plant. It is a leaf. It is a leaf. So it is a healthy leaf. The healthy leaf, they shows green in color due to the presence of chlorophyll pigments. But this hormone, it is induced these leaves to lose the chlorophyll. Chlorophylls are generally green in color. If lost the chlorophyll, then ultimately its leaves are shows yellow in color. The leaf shows yellow in color. And gradually the leaves are shedding. The leaves are shedding from the plant. The leaves are falling from the plant body. So these various gradual process, healthy leaf contain chlorophyll. Due to these hormones, in loss of chlorophyll, they become turned into yellow colors. So if the chlorophyll lost by the process called chlorosis, loss of chlorophyll, these are called chlorosis. As a result, they turn into yellow color, and ultimately the leaves are shedding or fall from the plants. Why this process is called senescence? If the leaves are filled out, automatically photosynthesis are arrested. If the photosynthesis are affected, plant will not survive. So it is one of the growth inhibitors, loss of chlorophyll. So it induced senescence. The next, it is induced bud dormancy. Induce bud dormancy, especially in birch tree during winter season. Birch tree, it is a huge tree that growing in north temperate regions. The tree that growing in north temperate region, it is stimulated to produce flowers. But especially during winter season, the bud they remains closed condition, remains in the bud conditions. So these hormones, it will not allow the buds to open it. The remains are bud condition. So it induced bud dormancy. So it is another one effect of ABA, are also called abscisic acids, induced bud dormancy. So what is the effect of physiological effect of ABA? It is one of the powerful growth inhibitors. It causes 50% of growth inhibition in oat seedlings. It does not allow to germinate. So they are called growth inhibitors. It regulates abscission process and also called dormancy process. Even all the conditions are favorable condition. In some seeds they could not germinate because of due to the presence of these abscisic acids, and it increases the tolerance of the plants during water stress, are also called drought conditions. I mean protect the plant from environmental stress. So it's also called stress hormones. It is found in the chloroplast. And if you take the regarding physiological effect of ABA, it promotes the abscissions. I mean abscission in the sense the process of separation of leaves, flowers, fruits, stem from the plant. So these are called abscissions. It also protect the plant during stress condition. It causes closed off stomata. If the stomata is kept in closed condition, they prevent transpirations. Next, it induces senescent process. I mean by cause loss of chlorophyll pigment and turn into yellow color and ultimately shedding the leaf, and is induced bud dormancy, especially in birch tree, or also during winter seasons. The remains are in the bud conditions. And another one effect of ABA, inhibit the lateral bud growth in tomato. It inhibit lateral bud growth, especially tomato. Yes, it is a lateral bud, it is apical bud. But ABA inhibit the lateral bud growth in especially tomato plant. Auxin promote the apical bud, suppress the growth of lateral bud. Contrast to the auxin, cytokinin. Cytokinin promote the lateral bud, inhibit the apical bud. But AB also suppress the growth of lateral bud, especially particularly in tomato plant. So next, the last one is what is the physiological effect of ethylene? Plant hormone ethylene. Ethylene, it is also growth inhibitors. Ethylene, ABA, these are comes under the category of growth inhibitors, and generally they are existed in the gaseous state. So it is also called gaseous hormones. So it is a gaseous hormone. Ethylene occurs in the gaseous state like volatile. Volatile in the sense quickly evaporated hormones. These are called ethylene. It occurs in a gaseous state, so they are called gaseous hormones. So it is mainly concerned with, ethylenes are mainly concerned with maturation and ripening of fruit. For example, apple, banana, then watermelon. Hence it is also called fruit ripening hormones. See, the tissue that undergoes aged tissue producing hormone, these are called ethylene. That is why it is mainly concerned with the maturations of the organ and also mainly involved in the ripening of fruit. Fruit ripening, that is a maturations. So hence it is also called fruit ripening hormone. For example, apple, banana and watermelons. And it is actually synthesized. A maximum synthesis of ethylene occurs in the plant during ripening of fruit. Especially the fruits gets maturity, that become ripening. But during ripening of fruit, the maximum synthesis occurs in the ethylenes. For example, the same apple, banana, watermelon, tomato, these are called fruit ripening then hormones. The next we will discuss what are the physiological effect. Effect of ethylene. The first one is ethylene promote ripening of fruit. Promote ripening of fruit. For example, tomato, apple, banana. So these are the certain example of ethylene, example of fruits which are responsible for ripening due to the presence of this ethylene hormone. So they are called fruit ripening hormones. The next actually ethylene inhibit the elongation of stem and root in especially dicot. Inhibits the elongation of stem and root in dicot. Usually it is an inhibitors. Ethylene inhibit the elongation of stem and root in longitudinal directions. But simultaneously it increases the growth laterally. That is a major effect of ethylene. But in especially dicot plant, it inhibit the elongation of stem and root. So that is why it is also one of the growth inhibitors. Then it induce, it hastening the senescence of leaves and flowers. It hasten the senescence of leaves and flowers. Already we know that what is called senescence. It is a gradual process. The loss of chlorophyll occurs in the healthy leaf. As a result, turn into yellow color and ultimately leaves are shedding from the plant body. These are called senescence. ABA induced promotes senescence, but whereas in ethylene is hastened in the process of senescence. What is called hastened in the sense speed up, quickest, speed up. So ethylene induce or hastening the process of senescence, especially leaves and flowers. So as a result, it's shedding from the plant body. The next, ethylene, it is stimulate the formation of abscisic zones. Stimulate the formation of abscisic zone in leaves, flowers, fruits. I mean, it cause premature shedding. Premature shedding. It is one of the indirect way to inhibit the growth of the plant body. It stimulates the formation of abscisic zone. Then what is called abscisic zone? It is a leaf. Yes. It is a petiole. So after senescence, actually, how the leaves are shedding from the plant body, the ethylene, it is induced abscisic zone formations, especially in the petioles. The stalk of the leaf is called petiole. That is a portions of the plant body which is attached. The leaves are attached to the main axis of the stem by the presence of stalk is called petioles. The tissue which is present in the petiole, it is made of a pectic substance. I mean middle lamellae. One cell attached to the another cells due to the presence of middle lamellae. Middle lamellae. The middle lamellae is made up of calcium pectate and magnesium pectate. Calcium pectate and magnesium pectate. That is why due to the presence of this middle lamellae, the cells are adjacent cells are joined together. But this ethylene, actually, it is induced to produce a pectase substance, pectinase. It is an enzymes. Due to the presence of enzymes, to break this middle lamellae, I mean pectic substance or magnesium, calcium pectate and magnesium pectate, to break this substance, as a result, the cells are get separated from each one. But due to the cells are separated, automatically the leaves are separated from the plant body, as a result, shedding of leaf. So ethylene, it is induced the formation of abscisic zone, especially in the leaves, flowers and fruits. So it causes premature falling. The process of falling of leaves, flowers, fruits before maturations, these are called premature falling. So auxine, remember, auxine prevent abscissions, but whereas in ethylene, it is induced abscission are also called premature falling. Then another one is, last one is, it break the dormancy of buds. Break the dormancy of buds and seeds, in addition to many storage organ. Ethylene break the dormancy hours of many buds. To break the dormancy of buds, it become open into blooms or develop into flowers. And also to break the dormancy of seeds. The dormancy seeds are break before they sowing the seeds into the field. They should be treated with ethylene. It break the dormancy. It is induced to germinations, especially storage organ, several storage organ. For example, potato and root, leaf, buds conditions. These are the storage organs to break the dormancy and induce to germination. It's the last. Dear students, today we discussed plant hormone 10th chapter, and there are 5 groups of plant hormones: auxin, cytokinine, gibberellin, ethylene, ABA, I mean abscisic acids. And I will hope you to watch my videos continuously until to understand, and due to curfew, and stay in our home safely, and don't waste your time, and to watch my videos continuously. It will help you to score highest mark. Thank you.